like you
Do
can
people
feel,
wear them?
yeah, everyone does, but I feel like you can feel like if you can hear, Bear, if
Bear,
you
I'm
don't
gonna
get
move.
off, Bear, get down. Psycho. Go. Just stay there.
I feel like I have to. My legs have to sit up straight.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it feels more comfortable like this anyway.
That
Yep.
way.
Don't act like you're not a theater kid.
Does it have to be closer?
You're a theater kid.
Does it have to be close?
Yeah, kind of. Pull it. Now put it up and then it'll sink down. Yeah, a little bit. See, that's good. This is my forming outfit. I don't know if I can. I can't hear anything. Now I look like a fisherman.
Is this close enough?
Yeah.
Am I good? Am I good?
I don't know. I tried to do a farming outfit, but it's not going to work. Testing, 1, 2. Yeah, it's fine.
I feel like we're pilots in a plane.
It's kind of cool. I know. I keep getting depressed and going, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? But then someone comes over and I go, this is the best time of my life.
It's like imposter
Syndrome,
right?
100%. And then, because like I was never doing it for like likes and follows. I just wanted to do it because I literally don't see anyone. And then I started thinking like, oh, I don't even like know that person.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you are my cousin and I don't know you.
Uh-huh.
But I do.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I do like 79%.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's like an inherent, there's like a DNA where we just like know
Recognize
each other
Yes, exactly.
in that sense, but then there's parts of our lives that are like,
Yeah. And I feel like I probably know you more than like my sisters and brothers because I got to live with your mom.
mhm.
So I feel like I was like around you a little bit more, but still.
But you also, well, and just getting to live with my mom, you got to see maybe where
Well, and then also like
from.
for real, but also like we hide ourselves, right? Until we're ready
Uh-huh.
to like let the world know. But I also believe you were a person who did not do that and kind of taught me to not do that, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. To just be like is this pulling on you?
No.
To be just like yourself. And because where we grew up was like you shouldn't be yourself. You got to be cool and all these things. And I think you kind of fought the system when it wasn't cool to fight the system.
Uh-huh.
Not the system. I
Yeah,
just mean in general, just
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like normal, like exactly how you were. Anyway, what do you like to be called?
What do I like to be called? Tina.
You
Is
like
fine.
Tina?
I'm like, do I like Tina?
Do you
No.
like Christina? Like
Well, my
what?
brother just started calling me Tina when we were little, and then
Okay.
everybody started calling me Tina.
But then we had another cousin named Tina, and so it got confusing. So then we added last names, and I always think, is that weird?
It's the funny thing is I introduce myself as Christina.
Thank you. That's your name.
But I don't, it's funny because I don't usually have a problem with anybody calling me Tina, except sometimes like people I don't really know. And then they'll be like, Tina. And I'm like,
First of all, you didn't know me.
I'm like, no.
I just met you.
But it's interesting because I have a reaction to certain people calling me Tina.
Yeah.
But it's usually people I don't know that well.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird. But if they're anybody who are my regular life and they call me Tina, like there's no, like I don't blink.
That's funny is I started asking this because I don't remember. I don't think it was Morgan, but maybe my second. I don't know who it was, but I was like, what do you like to be called? Because they had a nickname and it's like, it goes deep. Like people, like just like you, I don't think people think about it. And then when they do think about it, they're like, wait a minute, I do like my regular name. Like,
Yeah.
Because like I love my name.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love myself.
Yeah. I don't mind either. But it's funny because when I sometimes like they'll be like, oh, what's the name? I ordered some tacos, like, oh, what's your name? And I'll say Tina. And part of it is because it's like less for them to write.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like, I don't want you to have to write out
Yeah.
this."
God forbid you put a K or
Yeah,
something,
and then they do it with a K.
which is crazy, by the
No
way.
H.
That's crazy. If we are not in North Carolina, please don't put like K's on our names. Like, I don't have a
I was
K.
raised
But
Catholic.
yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
CH. Um,
That's funny.
but, yeah, so I'll do Tina, and then it's funny because I have this little thought that goes through my head of like, "Oh, now they're gonna think of me, like, as a Tina. Like, am I a Tina? Like,
Exactly. If someone
who's a
called me
Tina?"
Lori, I would and
Yeah.
lose
Christy,
my mind.
Chrissy,
Mm-mm.
Krista,
Chris.
which I know people with all those names,
Yeah,
and it's fine,
it's
but
fine. But that's not you.
yeah, I don't
That's not
mind
my name.
Tina if somebody
That's
when
not my name.
somebody's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Chrissy." I'm like,
I think I've always called you
"Okay."
Christina, but when I get around other people and they start calling you Tina, I'll say Tina so they know. So I'm like in the
Yeah,
conversation with them saying Tina. But then for a long
but then if
time,
we're with the whole family, then you have to
and before you were married,
specify.
you also had, you were, can I say your last name? Your
Sure. Ye
other one?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Well, it was Tina Hurley, and now you're married and have another name. So we couldn't even say that name.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you've had too many names.
I
That's
know.
crazy.
Well, because then
That's fine
also we
though.
have our Olivo
I know.
name.
Were you like mad you weren't an Olivo?
No, it was my middle name always. I never had, like, a middle name like Anne
Oh my
or
God, that's
anything.
so Mexican. And I just didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So wait, you're Tina Olivo? That's
Yeah.
your still your middle name?
No, but it's not when I got married, I changed it, and I didn't really because I was like, "Oh, I'll always be an Olivo."
Right.
And, but I'm, like, not as connected to my Hurley family, so I was like
Oh, you put Hurley
so
as your middle name?
yeah,
That's sweet. I like
but
that.
but now I kind of regret it because
Uh,
I was like,
you could have
I sh
four. You could change your
I
name
should have,
again.
like, held on to
You could be
that
Tina
was
Olivo Hurley
yeah. Well, I am, like, essentially.
and then be like a duchess or something. It
Or just
was
Mexican.
just Mexican with 17 names.
17 last names.
Yeah, it's super Mexican to like put your mom's maiden name as your middle name.
Yeah.
Just so you know. I don't know. Maybe that's other cultures too. No, a lot of other cultures will say their last name first and
Mhm.
then their anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's lots of cultures, but I'm like, Liz, I don't even know your middle name was Olivo. That's so funny. Okay, I was like, I know you.
Yeah.
Psych. I don't even know your name.
Yeah, yeah. But it's funny because a bunch of my friends would be like, "Oh, Christina Oliva Hurley." Like, they knew. They
They
all would.
knew. Well, because I went to school with you
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
too, and like knew you. We were just trying to like figure out which cousin you were. Like we were just trying to separate too. That's funny. Is it too loud?
No, my ear itches, sorry.
Do you hate it?
No, it's
Okay.
not that, it's just it itched.
Um, we lived together growing up in a super giant poorhouse.
A
It's crazy.
multi-generational family.
Yes, it was
Uh
crazy because our house, like, people would always assume we were rich and stuff because it
mhm.
was gigantic. Because our grandpa and my dad and I don't know who else, probably other family members, they all built it together, and, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 it was 8 bedrooms, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bedrooms.
Yeah.
8
But it was
bedrooms.
kind of like the main house
It was like a yeah,
downstairs, and they built on
like a
it.
triplex
And then it was
almost.
like you had an apartment upstairs, and then
Mhm.
our grandparents had, like, a
A
suite
a suite.
upstairs, and then we were kind of in the old part of the house
But
downstairs.
that was the cool part of the
Yeah.
house.
I
We
had a thing in 6th grade, I think I don't know what it was, but it was, like, English class, but our teacher had us, like, do something where we had to, like, write down how many phones were in our house and how many TVs were in our house, and, like and I don't know why, I don't know what the
Yeah,
project was, but it was
yeah,
like, "Tell us about yourself or in your house," but
right.
my teacher was like, "You're lying,"
You're like,
because I'm
sorry."
like, "We've got, like, 8 phones and 7 TVs," and she was like, "This is a lie, you're lying."
My dad built a house and put a telephone in our bathroom. Like, guy, chill.
For
Just
all his business
for his
transactions.
business transactions, I was dead. I think about that, like, now, and I'm like, "That's so funny to me." And also It never worked. I think it worked for, like, maybe the first few months when I was, like, I don't know, but I remember it never working, so
Yeah.
whenever I could start remembering things, that's when it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there would be, like, a "Hello? Hello, taking a shit. Can I, like, take a message?" That's, like, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Scarface
Yeah.
stuff. I'm just like, I can't.
That
It should have been in grandma and did they have one maybe in their bathroom too? I bet you they did,
I don't
but
remember
they
a
were
phone in there.
old. They should have
Yeah.
had a phone in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, anyway,
Yeah.
but it was, like, all '80s stuff, so, like, now we look back and it's like but back then it was probably so bougie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it was a facade, but
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah. It was hard to explain to
yeah,
people, and, like, I didn't really have friends over so
mm-mm.
much, and because it was hard. Yeah, it was
Everything was
we
just
had a
hard to explain.
we had a crazy life, and there
Yes,
was always people around, and so,
yeah,
like, to invite friends over, you kinda had to trust them to, like, "This is how I live,
yeah,
don't think I'm weird."
yeah, don't judge me or, like, don't tell.
And then yeah, and then it was also, yeah, but then there was, like, if I invite friends over, there's no like, "What are we gonna do?" You'd
Right.
have to be in my room, which was a mess,
Yeah, yeah.
and,
But it was like a cool mess.
yeah,
You're like how Zoe's like how you are now.
uh-huh,
It's just very like it's like an artistic mess.
I don't know.
She had like collages like everywhere and stuff. But see, we were little and thought it was like the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, yeah,
It was like Clarissa Explains It All if she was like Mexican and ADHD.
yeah, yeah,
But that's exactly what it was.
and then, like,
Just dried rose petals
yeah,
everywhere and like
teenage hoarder.
yeah. Yeah, but, like, again, in a cool way. It was cool. We were like, "Oh, can we go in Tina's room?" Like, it was just so cool. Um, it's so funny to me. Like, I try to explain, like, to people, like, "Oh," because you start out, like, how big the house was, but then you were like, "But 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19." About 20 people lived there. So it was, like, a
Yeah,
lot of
and
people.
it changed, so,
Yeah.
like, it would depend on, our
Rooms changed,
yeah.
population changed.
Yeah, our grandparents, depending on what family members were having problems, like,
Mhm.
or not, they couldn't afford rent or
Yeah.
didn't have a place or were displaced for some reason, we just would,
Come on in.
come on in, and then
And then
we might
also, like,
move
all the
one room
neighborhood
over or
kids
something.
would just come there
Yeah.
because we, break danced. Tina didn't break dance. She was older than us, so she
Yeah.
was, like, off in her own world. But, yeah, there was just, like, people at our house all the time.
Mhm.
It's so crazy. Maybe that's why I'm a hermit now. I'm, like, really good at function like, when I bartended, I'm, like, really good at that kind of deal.
Mhm.
People and managing them and, like, creating parties and experiences, but, like, I would rather just be in a quiet house with nothing going on, and I think I have trauma too, like
Yeah, yeah.
well, obviously, but I mean
Yeah.
I mean, like, spatial-wise and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that, but also I can live in, like, a real small place, probably because I lived with 20 people. That's a lot of people when you say it out loud. See?
Yeah.
It sounds crazy when we say it out loud.
I'm, like, trying to do the math now, I'm like,
Yeah, at least.
yes.
Because if I do, like, Thea Kina and Thea Pilo, like, just say that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Hello,
I mean,
Kelly,
a good oh my god, yeah, see, at other
Luke,
times, so many
my
people,
cousins.
and I would be like, "Oh, I grew up with, like, 11 boys," and people were like, "Okay," and I'm like, "No, that's not a joke number, that's a real number." Anyway,
Yeah.
super wild. When did you get into theater?
Really young. Well, I was like I did, I auditioned for the first time for, a play when I was, like, 6 or something, but I didn't get in it, but it was totally, like, Shakespeare, it was Midsummer Night's Dream, and I had somehow somebody somewhere told me there was auditions for, and it was at MPC, and I totally show up my mom took me because 'cause
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I wanna audition,"
Yeah.
and my mom takes me, and I go, and this is it's like I have
Yeah.
fragmented memories, but I just remember that they gave me a thing to read,
Like,
And
I
I
can't
was
read.
well, I know I
Oh,
started
you're reading.
reading. I
Okay,
was
good.
one of those
Okay.
kids who
Read at,
read
like, 4.
yeah,
Yeah.
and, so I, like, pick it up and I read it, and I'm, like, trying to do it in an English accent, and the people
You're all,
were they were
"Way out there."
yeah. Um,
To be or not to be.
and so anyways, I think they thought I was extremely cute, but
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah, this is for us." Like,
That's cool,
we are
though.
not putting a 6-year-old, and we're not
Yeah.
but they were like, "Oh, thank you for auditioning, but we don't there aren't really parts for kids
But
in this
definitely
one."
come back in 10 years.
Yeah. So, but I think my mom put me in, like, what was it? The Outdoor Forest Theater used to have, like, a
Oh, so
children's
sick.
theater camp or something, and so or
Cool.
classes, so she had me doing that for a little while, but I think, I was like I was like, putting the records on the stereo, and we were
Yeah.
like 5,
Oh,
6,
yeah.
7, and
We
I
made
was
music videos, guys.
dancing. I was running around, jumping on the couch, and
Yes.
our grandmother had a wall that was like all mirror, and I would just be like singing like Grease songs on the couch in front of the
Worse.
mirror. And then my grandmother would be like, "You keep looking at yourself in the mirror and you're going to make yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Like you're going to go
You know what's funny
insane."
is because Mexican culture is, like, kind of, like, against mirrors because you let, like, spirits in your house and shit,
Hmm.
and then they put again, my dad, I know he was in charge of that. Or were the mirrors there already?
The mirrors and grandma in the living room,
Yeah.
they were already there. They were there from like
Oh,
70s or something.
okay.
Those like stick on glass mirror
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
panels
was
with
like a
gold,
full
with
thing.
like gold
Mhm.
veining.
And everything was, like, so dark
Yeah.
downstairs.
Wood paneling,
God, that's so crazy.
but,
But, yeah, you were just
but yeah,
dancing
so I
around.
think
We were a performing family.
mhm,
We should just started a freaking circus.
yeah, I think they really, yeah, they
Missed
I
their
feel like
calling.
they should have done better at teaching the girls music.
I know.
I
I
mean,
think that
they were
too.
like, "You guys do piano." Piano is,
Yeah.
like, so boring.
Yeah. Oh, I love piano, though. I'm gonna, like,
Now?
yeah.
Did you love piano then?
Well, my first job was when I was, like, 12, and it was so I could pay for piano lessons,
Mhm,
and I went to the trailer park down where my aunt used to live to
mhm.
some, old little lady, German lady. She'd be like, "Sit up!" And I was like, "Ah, why did I pay for this? You're so mean." And I ended up stopping just because she was, like, gnarly, but she probably would've made me a great piano player.
Yeah,
But she gave me just enough where I can, like, play
yeah,
around and enjoy it. But I played violin, which was awesome and, like, saved my life. But I just wanted to do drama. That's all I ever wanted
yeah,
to do. But by the time it got to me, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like I could never find like the drama group that I went into, they were like super mean and pretentious.
mhm.
And it sucked because like I would have just like thrived so well.
Yeah,
But I'm mad that like I couldn't fit in with them. I think too because I was like, you know, it was, like, Monterey, and I was, like, sporty and, like, I don't know, just not like that, and then they probably thought I was weird, and
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, "I don't think you guys are weird, come on," I don't know.
yeah.
It sucked, um,
Did you
but
think you
I think you got the best time.
you presented as a normie,
I think so.
and then they were
Yeah.
like, they didn't
They're like, "You're
trust
not
you?
weird enough, we don't trust you,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Bro, I'm weird, guys, like, trust me. Trust me. I just have to look like this." Um, but I think you just had, like, the epic time.
Yeah, yeah, we were, kind of the weird kids. We were like, as one of my friends would always say, we were like fringe,
Yeah.
we weren't totally like outcasts, but we also were definitely not the cool
Yeah, 'cause
people.
you were cool too.
Yeah, I think more cool maybe as we got older.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Or we just thought you
It's
were
funny.
cooler, it's like
There's some of my friends who are like totally went to like art school, college, total college art school, like they're always have been very cool people to me.
yeah,
But when we were in school, we're like, nobody gave them a second thought, right?
so
And then
crazy.
we've gone to like high school reunions and they're like everybody wants
Oh,
to say,
100%. Yeah.
they're like, "Oh my god, you're so cool,"
Yeah.
because they live vicariously through them, that they're
Yeah.
the artists,
Yeah.
like, creators,
Well,
like,
and it sucks
musicians.
like that because I think back on my life so much, and I regret, um, just, like, listening or just being, like, hurt or insecure, and I'm like, "Bruh," I'm like, I'm just so happy now that, like, this generation, they can just be however, and everything's so accepting, and I
Yeah,
think, like, people will shit on social media, but I think that literally saved children
yeah,
because now every kid can see that there's at least 200,000 kids exactly like them
yeah,
and weird, you know?
yeah.
And, like, growing up, it was very isolated and lonely. You're just like,
Mhm.
I'm the only one like this. I better not act like this out loud
Yeah,
because then no one's gonna like me."
yeah.
Okay, so what was your first production
Oh,
or ish?
what was the first?
Or
I
or
think
like your bigger one that, like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
remember?
Well, it's funny, I remember, like, doing yeah, I played Humpty Dumpty in, like, 6th grade, but I don't remember what the production was. Um,
Maybe it was
what
Humpty Dumpty.
what was it? When we were in high school, we did, I remember doing, like, Shakespeare in the beginning. I was never like, we did some musicals, but I never got a good part in musicals because I wasn't, like, a singer, and
That was it too. They they were like, "Oh, they put 4 singers," and I was like, "Bruh, but we're funny."
yeah,
Like,
they're like, "I got
you
it."
need the funny guy,
Yeah, I
you
have
know, like, I
personality.
have personality, okay? I'm not gonna try and upstage anybody with my voice,
Yeah.
so just, like, let me in.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, but yeah, but I did some theater stuff in high school and college, and I'm trying to remember what the show. I think for high school, one of the biggest shows we did was The Crucible,
oh, so good.
and I played Mary Warren, so I wasn't Abigail. Um, and I remember I was like big mad at my theater team, like such a jerk. I was big mad because I was like, why didn't I get the part
Yeah,
of Abigail?
yeah.
And then, like, in retrospect now, like, Mary Warren was
Yeah, it's a
was a
great part.
pretty good part,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so, but anyway, so I remember, like, um, that was cool. Supposedly, like, the principal didn't want us to do it because she thought it was satanic. And then, Mr. Welch,
Yes,
Larry wrote to, Arthur Miller, and then Arthur Miller, like, wrote a letter back, was like,
of
"It's a
course.
shame in this day and age that you shouldn't, I
That's
support
cool.
you guys." And,
Mr. Welch was crazy, though.
yeah, that's
He was great. I ditched all my classes, and I would just go sit in drama, like, all day long.
uh-huh,
Maybe that's why they thought I was weird.
yeah.
Hmm, I don't know,
Larry
but
was, yeah, I had a super antagonistic relationship
yeah,
with him,
same.
but that was because before I had Larry, I had, another teacher who ended up going to prison for as a predator
Bro,
and having a relationship with
if I could
another
have
student.
just a podcast about all the teachers in that district that were so predatory, like, I, like, don't wanna shame it because it's, like, whatever, but, I mean, so many.
Yeah, it was a time too. I feel like there was so much that was, like, given a pass on,
Oh,
but
it was crazy.
but because he was a predator, he was, like, so nice to me. And then Larry was, like, a
But
little bit,
yeah,
challenged you more, and I'm like, "What is going on?" I
yeah.
had this, like,
Yeah.
I was a queen
He'd be
here,
like,
and
"Just
now
sing a song, any song," and I was like, "I don't sing," and he's like, "God damn it," and I was just like, "Oh, take me out to the ball." I feel like I would get on his nerves so bad, and I
yeah.
think that's also probably what pushed me out too, because I would, like, I wasn't gonna take it, you know, and I didn't realize then how to, manipulate personalities and that, like, that's just kinda how he was.
Mhm.
He was just like a curmudgeon,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I was that
Yeah.
was the word on the
Yeah.
tip of my tongue.
That's like he was just like that, you know? But I was so, like, offended or, "What's your problem, bro?" You know? I was
Yeah.
always like, "What's your problem, bro?" And, like, I should have just been like, "Oh, bro's just like that." and
Be
more
like,
accepting.
yeah.
Yeah. Just sitting in the middle like he's just a major director. Like, I was like, "Dude, go live in New York already. I can't handle you." But he was
Anyways, you
funny.
know, they named the theater after him.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Um, but, uh but anyways, yeah, it was, we had kind of an antagonist or relationship, but it was a good show, and, we went to, like, um, Hartnell College, and they had this thing where all the high schools
Fancy.
came and,
Yeah.
like, each did a scene
Is that the one
from.
with the big hats in front?
No, well, that's the rodeo grounds, but
Oh, okay.
Hartnell College is the community college of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
medicine. But they, so we all did scenes, and
Cool,
we got to meet other high school students, but
cool.
we ended up, I ended up meeting one of my best friends, Jody, who
Oh,
married me. It was at that, like,
that's
theater
the thing.
thing
Oh,
at,
that's cool.
uh,
What school did she go to?
Salinas High.
Dang, Jody's from the hood.
Yeah.
I didn't know, my bad.
Sweet.
I always liked
Uh,
Jody though. That makes sense now. Now
yeah.
it's all coming
Well, and her
together.
dad was a principal, but at, like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
middle
She was
schools.
very strong, but like
Mhm.
funny and cool. I
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Nice.
so,
Origin
but
story.
anyways, yeah, one of my friends, like, asked her out on a date, and then, um, and we all went out to, like, karaoke,
Nice.
and, our friend asked her out on the date, and she showed up, and we were like, "Oh, it's really cool to, like, meet you." We we totally hit it off right
But you
away.
never know, like the
Yeah.
second time if
Yeah, we
it's
hit it
gonna work.
off right away, but then our friend, and also, why were we, like, fifth well, we were, like, 16 years old,
Yeah.
17 years old, and going to, like, Tony Roma's
Well, that's what
to
I was
do
just gonna say.
karaoke?
That's insane. I was gonna say that's bro, that's oh my god. We lived in a town that had no age, my guy. Like, what are children doing at karaoke?
Yeah, at Tony Roma's, which was, like, what, like, the Applebee's of steakhouses or
Yes,
something? I
but
don't even
it's
know.
like
I
but
don't
you
even
know, it's
remember.
all like, people like, we're going to karaoke,
Yeah,
and they're like 65 and
yeah,
stuff. I don't
yeah,
know.
we're
It's
like,
funny.
"We're theater kids at Tony
We're
Roma's."
here.
And, anyways, our friend who she was out with,
They're like, stop putting so many songs in. Other
yeah.
people need to sing.
So, yeah, so we ended up, like, hitting it off, and, that relationship with our friend was, temporary and didn't last, but we kept her, and,
Nice.
been core part of my friends for a long
A
time.
long time.
But,
Dang,
yeah. What
that's
was it?
awesome.
I was just thinking there was something else that I was thinking about. Oh, recently, about the whole, like, our area had no age or something, that
Yes.
I've told people that I saw Digital Underground perform. And they're like, "You saw Digital Underground?" I
How
was,
old were you?
14, and
Where?
in Salinas at a all ages club.
Oh, that's what I was just gonna say to you. Okay, first of all, sick. Sick.
Yeah, it was in the Tupac was possibly, like, a background dancer or something.
I, like, cannot. I believe it. 2, I was gonna say, I've been waiting because like, I was thinking about having Eddie on, Emilio's and them's
Oh,
cousin,
okay, yeah, yeah.
because he's, like, around and he's, like, a photographer and stuff. I was like, "You gotta come on so we can talk about breakdancing," because like, it's like, I don't think my kids even believe me, but I'm like, "No, you don't" and I was athletic at one time before I had 79 children, but, like, I was like, "No, we, like, breakdanced every day." But, to your point, I remember one day we got all dressed up. I was, like, in my Adidas track fit with, like, my space buns because 'cause I've been rocking space buns since, like, '93, get it right? And, your mom drove us to San Jose to a club, and we went in and battled, I don't even know, grown-ups and shit while they're getting wasted, and they're probably just like, "Who are these kids rolling up here? Na 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 na," just taking shots, battling us, and then we just got back in the car with your mom and drove home.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
What? Like, the times back then were just that's not real, you
yeah.
guys. Come on, that's not real. I was 11. I was 11
Yeah, yeah.
in a tracksuit battling drunk people in a club in San Jose.
Nice, nice.
Tight, though.
And they're like, "And how do we find out about it?"
Yeah, and they opened the back door. You know, Rosie knew
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
She
yeah.
probably went dancing there, and Seven was like,
Oh, they
"Let
do
them
break
come in."
dancing.
Yeah, they do breakdancing. Let them. It'll be good for your
Yeah,
club. It'll be good. You'll make
yeah.
money.
She
They
was
want
probably
to see
just,
them.
"Oh, I think I heard about a place where they do that. Let me take you guys."
She's like, the mom on La Bamba. That's her mom, my Aunt Rosie, and she'd be like, like, Richie and his flying electric guitar. Like, she was like, they're 12 and they're breakdancing. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, because I saw Digital Underground. She totally like
She drove
she
you.
drove me there, and she dropped me off. And I think I was with a friend, but we got dropped off, and then I was with a friend. We got dropped off, and then she was like, "I'm gonna go salsa dancing. Like,
I'll be back.
be back at when's it over? Midnight, because there were no cell phones."
There's no cell
And
phone
yeah, so I got dropped off at the club
at the club.
when I was
The club we all found.
freshman. No, you know what? I think it was before I started
Like the summer.
freshman.
The
Yeah, it was
summer
like
before
the
high
summer. It
school.
was like 13,
That's
going into
crazy.
14.
But that was it. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember so many things like that. That was just like ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Like I just told on my other podcast, I just said how I got my belly button pierced at 12.
Oh yeah, I was listening to that story. I was like, "Oh my god."
But also that wasn't in a facility. That was a
No,
meth. That was
yeah.
a meth head.
Yeah.
That was in the streets.
Yeah,
But I mean she was sterile and everything. She did it like it was professional.
yeah, yeah,
It just wasn't in a sterile environment,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But
And you were minors.
oh yeah, that part.
I'm just imagining my kids lining up for a
That's
piercing.
That's like
at
Zoe
their
right now,
friend's house.
laying on a bed, getting it by like that's so crazy. And that's like nothing. That was a happy memory.
Mm-hmm.
So that's funny.
Happy.
That was like delightful. I thought that was.
Oh, that was like one of the best nights.
I was like, thanks, lady. You did a really good job.
Yeah.
I'll leave a Yelp review.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. That's so funny. Oh my
We were
God.
like, yeah. And I try to explain to my kids, like, when I was 12, I like on the weekend or something, or during the summer, I like got up in the morning, got dressed, and like got on the bus and like went to or got picked up maybe or taken to my
Yeah.
friend's house. And then, but we would get on the bus,
Yeah.
and we would go to Carmel,
Yeah.
we went wherever.
Yeah.
We go for free samples.
Yes. Free samples for sure on the
Yeah,
wharf.
Henry Row and the wharf.
You go get your clam chowder.
clam chowder, which I didn't like, and so I would just give it to her. But then, Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory samples. You get your different samples.
You'd walk on the beach. I'd have like $6 in my purse. That was a lot of money,
Yeah.
first of all. And you'd then go to the mall,
Yeah.
walk around,
Get free samples.
more free perfumes. You got to have
Yeah.
like just
Uh-huh.
all those little things of
The little tiny
perfumes. The little,
things of perfume.
oh yeah, they had actual bottles back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh
the
my
little glass
God, they
vial.
probably were like, oh my God, these people working were like, if you don't get out of here, you're never gonna buy this $120 bottle of perfume.
You were definitely not buying the bottle of
Well,
Experience
home
by
or whatever.
Klein or whatever.
Yeah. But CK1 was it. And then we had oh my God, you guys missed out. Remember all of our knockoff stores? Well, that might have been like a little bit after you, but not at the mall.
Yeah.
Like just like the strip malls down in Seaside.
Yeah.
They'd have like the knockoff store. So we'd go and get like all of our shirts, but it had like a backwards Nike sign.
Mm-hmm.
Or like some of them had Nike sign, but you could get like 3 t-shirts for $10. And it'd be like Calvin Klein, Stussy or whatever. And they're just all just flea market shirts.
Yeah, yeah.
But no one knew they weren't real unless
Yeah.
they like pulled your tag, but like just don't let them touch you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they'd have all like the fake
Mhm.
CK1 perfumes and stuff, so you could get it for like $8,
Yeah.
and it was called like BK12 or something. Oh, that's a band, sorry. Or like I don't know, DK2
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something, God, that was good times.
Yeah.
It was the worst of times. It was the best of times.
Yeah. I feel like we were on the.
Those drinks are for you if you want one.
Oh, okay.
They're so freaking good.
I was, we were totally like anti like labels and stuff. So
Yeah.
I like was like not gonna wear
Yeah.
like the anything with a logo on it and stuff,
Yeah.
and I fit in that little category of the, like, huge thrift store, we were wearing, like,
So cool.
grandpa sweaters and stuff, and
I tried that
baggy pants.
because, like, I thought you were cool. So, like, I tried to like, I remember my favorite outfit was, like, this green, limeish green crew s literally what I'm wearing right now, guys, but this was, like, lime green, and I'd wear, like, my jeans with some holes in it, and I'd wear my space buttons, and I went to school, and they were like, "The hell is wrong with you?" And in my head, I was so cute, and I was just like, "Oh, I better go get something Nike and Adidas or I'm gonna get beat up."
Yeah.
And so, like, it wasn't even I was never really attracted to brands like that.
Yeah.
I just had to fit in
Yeah,
because
totally.
you got really made fun of if you were, like, poor or not, like, put together.
Yeah,
Dang,
yeah,
dang, that sucks.
yeah,
That's the
and
part I hate.
I was, like, in middle school, and I think I tried to do you had to have Guess
LA Gear.
jeans, LA Gear, Reeboks, and,
Yes. But I think
Seat
it was you just
Cavaricci,
found
but
you found a family,
yeah.
you just found a group, and so if there was more of you who did that, you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
safe, and I just, there wasn't
yeah.
enough people
I
to
think
go against the grain.
we had a bunch of friends who were, like, military families too, and they didn't have the money either for
Or they saw the world and they were
yeah.
like, "Not everybody's like this,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Like, you're gonna
Totally,
be
they're like,
fine."
"We moved here from Germany,"
Yeah.
and
You're gonna be fine.
yeah, don't care about Guess Who.
No.
Like, "This is
What is
weird.
this shit?
You guys are" yeah, "That's weird."
Why are you, like, branding
Yeah,
yourselves like this for a company? It's crazy.
yeah,
Man, mind your business, company. Stop branding poor
yeah,
people. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Wasn't
Shame on you.
that was something, like, when I had kids too, like,
Oh,
when
yeah.
people would buy, like,
S
stuff that had, like, a logo on it, and I would be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna put that on."
Hell no. It's funny is because the only one I had to fight that with was my first one, Malachi, because his dad was so,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Jordans and Nike and brands, and I'd be like, but, like, I also was, like, a single mom, so I was like, "Well, that's
yeah,
free clothes."
yeah, yeah,
So, like but I would always be like as soon as he's done, I would be like, in, like, your Shrek slippers and sweatpants and a plain T-shirt,
yeah,
that was, like, the go-to, and I'm just so happy because all of them grew up and are just, like, thrifters, and I'm just like, "Yeah."
yeah,
But that's also, like, their generation
yeah,
are so free that they're just like, "We're not buying into this
yeah,
bullshit."
yeah. It's awesome. I wish I had more time to thrift
My
because I feel
god.
like
I wish I had less time to thrift.
I don't do it, and, now it's
Yeah.
so easy to, like, order something,
Oh, I know. Well, that's also a problem.
or go to Costco. A
God,
woman of a
Costco's the
certain
best.
age
No,
buying our clothes at Costco.
Costco is a hard flex.
Yeah, when I
Costco's
started
a
buying clothes at
flex.
Costco, I was like, "Oh, I have crossed the Rubicon. Just send
No.
me my AARP card,
Nope, that's
and
wealth.
I'll be"
Not here. See, that's wealth here. Like, Costco's like a vibe. I'm ordering, uh it was out of stock, so I just have it in my cart, and I'm waiting for them to redo it because that's how much they go out, but I'm getting the Costco crew neck, where I'm gonna brand myself with Costco, like, "Oh, oh, I'm
I
going
didn't
back
know
to
they
my
had
old
those.
ways." Yeah, they got Costco, merch.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the only merch I support, though, because we just support Costco,
yeah,
but it's also, like, a reasonable price, and
yeah,
it's gonna last forever, and if not, you can return it.
yeah,
Costco's just the best.
totally.
I can't go in there without money.
Yeah, I think I
It's too
used
much.
to be, like, really careful when I went to Costco, and then I feel like COVID happened, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden I was like, "What is
We need
$300?" Like,
this.
all of a sudden you're like
I need this four-piece mug
like, "We
set.
need this for our bunker."
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna buy all of it. So now I feel like I'm a little, it's a little bit of problem when I go there. I get a little loosey-goosey.
I just love it. I'm,
Yeah.
thinking about stuff I need now.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hardest part, though, is that you can't shop anywhere now unless it's, like, Costco, Amazon, or thrift. I feel like it's kind of those 3, so you have to get, like, a lot if you're going to
Mhm.
Costco, or thrifting if you find what you need.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's just like Amazon is just taking out everything in between,
Yeah.
and I won't go to Target, and I just hate Amazon. I just hate
Yeah,
them.
I won't
But
I usually won't buy clothes because
yeah. Oh, no
I
way.
did a phase where I was like, "I'll buy clothes on Amazon." This was a few years ago,
Nothing
and
fits
then
you, and it's like
I'd be like, "I bought triple extra large,
yeah,
and it is made for a child.
yeah,
This is for
yeah,
not me."
yeah.
Uh, didn't yeah,
Triple extra
it's
large in
so like,
Japan.
yeah,
Yeah,
so weird, the sizing, and it's all wrong,
yeah.
and then you're like, "This said 100% cotton, and this is 100%
I
plastic."
haven't truly bought, like, real clothes in I mean, I thrift all my clothes
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
that's good.
can't trust it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because, like, where are you gonna go? If I can't see it, I'm like, "Mm-mm."
yeah.
And then I'm probably, like, autistic because like, the
Oh, yeah,
feeling will,
yeah,
like,
you can't
send me through the roof if
yeah,
it's, like, a
there's
weird
certain
texture.
mm,
Absolutely not. Get your textiles right.
yeah, that
Um,
is not good. I have a real hard time with synthetics
yeah.
and, like, a bunch of the workout type clothes and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It,
"How
like,
how
literally
can you
itches
wear"
or, like, it, like, has,
there's,
like, a
like
static feeling or
there would be,
something.
like, dry wick shirt, and I'm like,
Mm.
"God, no."
I'm lucky because 'cause
It's
I'm in Santa Cruz, so I can just go to the thrift store
yeah, and
here,
they've got all
and I just wait for them Scotts Valley Tech women to get rid of all their stuff, and I'm like, "Patagonia, here I come."
totally.
And I just get, like, cool shit because I
Yeah,
just wait till they're done with it.
yeah,
I'm just and plus I don't go anywhere.
yeah,
I just wear the same, like, 4 things over
yeah.
and over.
Well, I buy stuff, and then I wear the same old stuff, but
Yeah,
don't wear the stuff that I
yeah, exactly. Because why would you speaking of, I think I have 2 pairs of pants that will fit you that I got, and it was a mistake because they're too small. So,
Yeah,
but I don't know, maybe you wanna or give them to someone, I don't even care, I'll burn them.
yeah.
Burn them and, like, howl at the moon, I don't even care. I just don't look at them anymore.
Well, I just ripped some of my good work jeans, which were trash
Oh,
jeans,
perfect.
but they were like a very comfortable work
Yeah.
jean. And I lifted my leg to roll them up and just the whole thing just split
I
open.
have 1 pant and I still have a rip here, I don't care.
Yeah.
I
I
just
told the kids,
I'll
should
put
I?
some boxers underneath
Yeah.
and then I'm just like, "Pattern,
Yeah.
that's a patch.
Well, the kids are like, I was like, do you think it would be okay if I wear this? And they're like,
Please do not.
please do not wear that.
Just wear it. I'll just wear them.
Yeah.
I have, like yeah, they're probably and I'll forget. Sometimes I'm like, "Hey there, guys." It's like a full rip, but I do make sure I always, like, put some, literally, like Anthony's boxer briefs or something,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
just like whatever.
Yeah.
Just getting a
The
little
last time
style.
I accidentally wore pants and I had a tear in, the tear was, like, on the butt, and I forgot that I had a tear in them because 'cause they're one of my favorite pants, and, I put them on and I wore them to the kids' school and stuff, and
Lol.
later I was like, "Oh my god, these have a tear," and I've been, like, volunteering at the school, and
They're like, "Hey, Tina, can you come
yeah,
back every
I
week?"
was wearing, like, nude colored underwear, so it probably just looked like skin, not
Well,
at least if you had, like, green underwear, they're like,
then they'd
"Oh,
be like,
they
"Ah, it's
know
fine."
that's
Yeah.
not
Well,
flesh."
that's the thing is I barely wear underwear. Sorry, but
Yeah.
I'm not buying into your trap.
See, how can you
I
do I can't with as far as the textures and feelings and whatnot, that
you eventually
is
don't really feel anything.
yeah.
You're just what is this turning into? I just don't care. I also just, like,
Gives me the
refuse to, like,
heebie-jeebies.
buy shit that
Yeah.
I don't need. Like, I'm just like, the world's on fire, guys. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna pay $27
She
for
don't need
2 pairs.
chonies.
I don't need that chonies. That's another funny thing. Growing up in our house, okay, we're Mexican, bro, so get it together. We're half, but the other half is questionable. We don't know. What you know, but I don't know, whatever. Um, I just say, like, Portuguese and other stuff, but I didn't know. Did you go to school and, like, say some Mexican words and didn't know they were Mexican words?
I think I knew they were Mexican.
I didn't know trastero was a Mexican word. I thought trastero was just another word for hutch.
Yeah.
I thought everyone had a trastero
Yeah.
and,
It's up in the trastero, the
go
china
get it.
cabinet.
It's in the trastero. I thought that was regular.
Mhm.
Okay. I thought chonies were chonies.
Yeah.
I didn't know panties were a thing. That sounds disgusting, first of all. I don't think a child should be walking around saying panties.
They should say
So
chonies.
they should say chonies. So that's also I didn't know that was Mexican. I did not know mocos, that not everybody had mocos in their nose.
Uh-huh.
I, later heard booger, and I thought that's disgusting as well. Um,
Like caca,
I
or people say
caca,
dookie. Hate that word.
that's disgusting.
I hate that word so
I don't
much.
you know what's funny is I don't know how my podcast always gets here.
Yeah.
It always gets to shit and rats, and
Yeah.
I just don't understand it, but I lead the way, so I can't be mad.
Mhm.
I did not know that,
Uh-huh.
calzones,
Yeah.
I thought that was also just, like, underwear,
Well,
like
I think
another
part of it was just that it was like we didn't grow up in a purely Spanish speaking house. It
right,
was all Spanglish.
yes.
And like,
So we didn't know it was
yeah.
Spanglish.
And grandma
We just thought
grew up
people were speaking English.
Yeah, grandma grew up on the border and
Yeah,
she spoke English from
yeah,
being a small child.
yeah,
So it was like the Spanish and English was so interchangeable the whole time
yeah.
that I can understand how you would have just thought those were the
I
words.
just thought those were the words.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I can, like, understand so much Spanish, and it was because, like, our grandpa barely spoke English, and he could, like, say, "Do you want some cookies?" And I still think it
He
was,
could
like,
speak English. He just
he
didn't want
just
it.
didn't want to, which is I respect that.
Yeah.
He was so
He just didn't
crazy.
want to talk.
He just it was so funny.
He was just
He was
quiet.
so funny, bro.
Yeah.
He was so funny. And then he would get lit and he'd put on like this, oh my God, I can't even. He had a sword that hung against the wall. Was it a real sword?
Yeah, I think it
It
was
was
a
like,
sword from when he was in the Mexican army.
it was a real sword, right? That thing was so tight. He would get drunk and he'd take the sword off the garage wall and he would just start singing. I can't sing, otherwise YouTube will cut me off. But I. Anyways, it was super funny because he'd be like quiet to 100,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is our whole family.
Yeah.
Well, no, a lot of them must stay on 100.
Yeah.
Right. I guess, yeah.
We were like loud to louder.
Yeah, loud to louder.
Yeah.
But I wonder, I think we're all kind of a little bit quiet. I think we're just performers. I
Yeah.
think it's only when we're around people. And then I think, like, are you loud at home?
Yes.
Okay, psych. I'm loud too. I guess I would say I'm loud. They're like, "Why are you always yelling?" And I'm like, "I'm not." Okay? If you lived in my house, you would have known what yelling was.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. We don't
The
yell all the
neighbors
time.
can't hear me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm I'm what is it? To reiter oh my god, I can't say the word because I'm gonna say it so wrong. When you're saying it again,
Reiterating.
I'm I almost said reiterating. I can't even. Reiterating.
Reiterating.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm reiterating loudly is what I'm doing. And if you heard me the first time, I wouldn't be reiterating loudly.
Yeah. It's
So,
just you gotta scale up.
yeah.
Uh
That's how you know this is
when
not a
I'm ar-
Mexican house.
yeah, when I'm around people I don't know,
We act normal.
I'm very quiet.
Very quiet.
And you just like wait
Mhm.
and see because you're like, I don't know if people can handle
Uh-huh.
me or
But then they say
where
w
I have a lot to say
yeah.
and I should probably just keep my mouth shut.
Mhm.
Uh,
Then they say one thing and I open up the gate where you're like, feel safe and you're like
yeah, and then you overshare,
overshare
and
for
then you're
sure.
like, later on, you're like, oh,
That's
that was
crazy.
awkward. I should not have told
That's
those people
crazy. They think
stuff.
I'm nuts.
Yeah, yeah, and then you're like, oh, you're the pastor of your own church.
And the church lives within me.
Yeah,
Okay?
and then you're like, oh, okay, I just told all that stuff to maybe I
Morgan
don't
was
know.
on here and he gave me that exorcism book because I like to collect like cool random books.
Hmm.
And I was like, Laura, don't say what else is in the pile. And I wanted to be like, I want this to go next to my satanic verses book. And I was like, that's crazy. People are gonna think like you're like a Satanist. And I was like, no, it's just an interesting book,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
But so I just shared it anyway. But
yeah, yeah.
I tried not to. But it's stuff like that without context. Even with context, you're like,
Some
"Are
people
they
are
gonna"
scared of that stuff,
isn't
and
that
you're like,
weird?
it's just words and
It's
paper.
just
Like,
paper and words.
what is it? It's not. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
It's not.
so what was your first production?
I don't know. Let me get a drink.
When did you, when did you start with the Monterey what was it called?
Okay, so my job, my career, or no,
No,
my what were
no,
you
the
gonna go?
theater.
The theater. Oh, when did I start with it? Well, I just did school theater mostly, and then in high school I started doing like NPC stuff at
Oh,
the
so
community college.
MPC just used their theater.
And
The one on the wharf.
oh no, so yeah, I did that. So I did theater in high school, and then we started doing like theater at the Wharf Theater. I
Wharf
did
theater.
like the Outdoor Forest Theater in Carmel
Yes.
and NPC, but those were the places where theater was happening, and so we'd audition for shows. And the Wharf Theater, we did
So
what
cool.
was it that was like
Velveteen
the
Rabbit.
Velveteen Rabbit?
And I was in the audience going, "Christina!" And she was looking at me like, "If you don't shut up." Bro, okay,
I do
first of
not
all,
remember that.
I was stuck in the house, my guy, okay? So we had this loud ass, crazy ass Mexican family, but my dad, out of 170 people, was the only hermit person, so we weren't allowed to do anything. So I was very stuck upstairs for a good portion
Mhm.
of my life
Up in the attic.
until I just started breaking free and running away.
Mhm.
But we were just like, yes, we were like flowers in the attic or whatever. There,
Yeah,
it's just
but
like,
not like that, but
but
in the
kind of like
in
that.
the attic without the incest.
Oh yeah, that incest. Okay, no. Okay, so like not like that, but like that. Just like okay, who
Hidden
cares? But
away.
anyways, we were just stuck inside, like, and they were all getting to like go to Mexico and like travel and I don't know, eat pizza and shit. Like, and we were just like, nope. You got mini wheats and don't go outside. So like that was probably like the first thing I'd like done in the real world where I was like, I'm at a theater. And
A fancy theater at
and
the
I
end
was
of the
just
wharf.
yeah, at the end of the wharf. It was so cool to me, but I was just screaming, "Christina!" And they were like, "If you don't shut up." And I was like, "You right. I'll just hold it till the end." But,
I'm glad you remember that because I don't.
dude, that was like the
Oh,
first time I went to theater, and it was like
wow.
the craziest thing, and I was like, "I'm gonna be an actress. I'm gonna be an
It's
actress."
funny. I have pictures
And then
of
I
I think
didn't.
I've put on my Instagram the pictures of
Oh,
some
yeah.
of us and our friends that were like in that show, and it's hilarious because we're everybody's like, don't show that picture.
Why? Oh my
I
god,
mean,
I
it's
love it.
crazy. It's like, yeah,
It was kinda cool because
community theater.
it looked like kinda culty almost because it
Yeah,
was like community theater. I don't know, it
yeah,
was good.
yeah.
So this whole time were you going to college
No,
or
I didn't. By the time I started going to college, I think I only did like after I graduated from high school, I think I did like one more theater show and then I stopped
okay.
doing theater. And the last thing I did was the musical Nine, um, and which is I'm totally gonna forget its name. It's like a musical, but it's based on the Italian director and his films.
P p uh, p
Totally blanking.
um,
Perimenopause.
no, but it
I
yeah,
forget.
yeah,
Um,
I'm always stroking out. Um,
but
but it is it him? Fellini?
Fellini,
Fellini,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
thank you. And
I was gonna say Pellini, I
so
don't know.
anyway, so I was,
Fellini.
and I was like a chorus, like not I didn't have like a real I was like Diana and I had like one line, but we sang and danced a lot. And it was a really cool production and it was a great show. Um,
Fellini's cool.
but we did it was like on a raked.
Well, he's not, but it
Yeah.
shows.
It was a
It's
raked stage, so it was at the stage they do the stage at an angle, and then it, like, adds, like, a weird
depth.
depth and
That's
perspective to the
cool.
stage, which is super cool, but then we were doing, like there's a whole dance number where we do, like, a can-can, and we're doing it on a raked stage
Mm.
and in, like, in,
Heels.
those, like, heels, those jazz dance
Yeah, like
shoes, whatever, but anyways, I think that was, like, the beginning of jacking up my back, but that was, like, super
uh,
pain it's one of those
yeah.
things you do it, and then afterwards, you're like, "Why am I in pain?"
That's like how
Um,
vaudeville, stages were and stuff,
yeah,
huh?
yeah, I
Because they
think
would have, like, the running stuff in the back, so it
yeah,
would go, like, up like that. That's so
yeah,
cool.
but anyways, that was a cool production, but then it was like theater was like you would rehearse, you do a show, it's
Yeah.
like 6 weeks, you rehearse every day,
You had to have a job.
and so, yeah, and it's, yeah, community theater, but we'd have rehearsal would start at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then you'd be there till 10 at night, and then once the show
Outside.
started, you have to be, if we're doing, tech rehearsals, we might be there till midnight, and then you'd run the actual show, and so that'd be, like, every Saturday and Sunday, you're doing, like, 2 shows and maybe Thursday night, maybe Friday night. So, anyway, so then I was, like, 19, and all of a sudden I was like, "I wanna, like,
Have a life.
party with my friends, do stuff."
I
And
wanna
I kinda
party,
gave
party, party.
theater
A
up, but
break.
and at that point too, I kinda had this, like, because I was like, "I'm gonna be famous," and then I was like, "I'm not gonna be famous." I
Oh,
was like, "That's not real." Like, I
yeah.
would have to do, I had, like, this, I don't know, this idea of, like, "Oh, well, I would have to do commercials, and I would have to
The
do all this
world
stuff."
beats you down.
And yes, and I convinced myself that, like, that was
Yep,
a dumb
yep.
kinda dream
And
that
we
wasn't
forgot
real.
that just doing it was the prize.
Yeah. They're just doing it as the prize, and then also, like, 6 degrees of separate, like, if you know if you know what to do or you know the path to take, it's actually not that hard.
Yeah,
But I didn't know the path,
yeah.
so, like, I was lost.
It wasn't a obtainable thing to
Yeah,
you in your mind.
especially when you're doing community theater in Monterey, like, it's like, "Oh, if I had gone to, like, LA and joined the
This is, like,
Groundlings
all I
or
say.
gone to New
Yes.
York," like, I might have, could
Oh,
have been on Saturday Night
100%.
Live, maybe.
100%. You're so funny.
I
100%.
so wanted to be on Saturday Night
Oh
Live,
god, that
but
would have been, like, everything.
I didn't know how to do that. But, I don't
And
really
it
have
was
regrets.
just
I have a good life.
location. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It was just location.
Mhm.
Like, we were in a place where just things didn't feel, and it's crazy because imagine, like, little kids in, like, Kansas or something, I don't know, where there's really nothing. I feel
Yeah.
like they dream bigger, I don't know, but it was always the goal was to run away to the big city
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but whatever. When did you do the thing for the Monterey Museum?
That was, my junior year of high school, and I remember because they also had, like, auditions, and then, it was a short film that was, like, shown at the Monterey Maritime Museum, and it was about the history of Monterey,
Mm,
and,
and she played the señorita.
I was a señorita, and I, like,
Uh-huh.
crushed, like, a confetti egg on somebody's head or something.
Yeah.
Um, but
That was a claim to fame.
that was, yeah, I always forget about that, but it
Yeah.
was a junior year because I remember I missed my junior prom because we were, uh
Worth it.
yeah, we were filming.
You're like, "Sorry, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
in the museum for
yeah,
years."
we were filming in the Stevenson house,
It was
and
for a
it was
long
big.
time in there.
Yeah.
Is it still in there?
I don't know if they still
It
show the
was there
films
for a
there,
long
yeah,
time.
because it's not the Maritime Museum, now it's, like,
Oh, okay.
the Dolly Museum
Oh,
or some
yeah,
weird
I
thing.
saw that it was Salvador Dali. It's still that?
I think so, but, like,
How
why?
weird.
That's, like, one of those
That's so
things you're like,
weird.
"Why is there a solid?"
So you know why? Because someone here bought his art or did
Yeah, and
something
wanted to show
and
it.
wanted to make sure that everybody knows they own it.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Like,
At least Salvador Dali's art was cool, but, like, not forever.
yeah.
Rotate it, please. Like, not the whole time, not the whole museum. Yeah, because it was also over, like, what was that museum over by, like, El Estero Car Wash? There's something right there. That's
Oh,
where Dolly was,
oh,
and then
really?
they
The
moved it. So
Chinese,
no,
what's
not
it?
that one.
No.
It's like I've never been in it.
Oh,
It was literally next to El Estero Car Wash. It's like just this tall building. I don't even know if it's a museum or it was just a place where they put the doll and it was like,
yeah,
"Oh,
oh,
Dolly,
yeah, yeah.
all those arts there." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Again, this is like 20 years ago. And then the next time I went down and visited, it was the whole museum.
Yeah,
They took over that. So that's why I think someone owned it for sure. Like
yeah,
the collection or something for it to just live there.
yeah.
Okay, so now you're going to college.
Yeah, sort of. I did. I went to, like, community college, and I went to MPC for a little while, and then I went to Cabrillo, for a little bit too, and I was not good at school, uh,
Yeah,
not good at sitting in a room of people
yeah,
talking at me. And so I would, like, when I started going to Cabrillo, I think part of going to Cabrillo was to get away from Monterey and to feel like I was
Somewhere else.
I have to go somewhere else to
Yeah,
like focus and do the thing.
yeah.
And then I went to Cabrillo and I would be like, I'd go to what my anthropology class and the teacher was like crazy and it was like cool. I would, and then I would totally like be like, it's so beautiful out. I'm gonna go get some tacos for lunch. And then I would never
Not
go
go
back
back.
because I would be eating
I was
my
just not a good
tacos hanging out
tester.
in Santa Cruz.
I was not a good tester, but I like well, sometimes I would memorize it, but I would get bored. Like, can we speed this up?
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need to do this for this long. I don't feel like a class needs to be a whole semester. Let's just wrap it up in about two
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
weeks and then give me a little test or whatever. Ask me the questions, but let's do 101.
Yeah,
And then I feel like give me a degree.
yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
They would also lose me when I'd go to a class and then be like, now we're gonna get in groups. And I would just be like, I
Mm,
don't want to know people.
yeah, I don't
Like,
want to talk to these people. And ugh,
yeah.
I like
Being
people, but I
put in
don't.
a group that's like the worst.
Well, not like your group, like
Yeah,
stranger danger.
yeah. They were strangers.
Yeah. And then they're all like not flicking their pencil, like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I can't with you. Um, so okay, I'm trying to transition into what you're doing now. How did that happen?
How did that happen? That's so my now husband was my we were dating back then and
Forever.
yeah, we were we decided to go we wanted to live in San Francisco. That was like
Cool.
we thought San Francisco was like that was the goal. That was the cool thing. We
And it
wanted
was
to be
so
in the
big
city.
back then, right? When you're
Yeah.
young, you're like, it's so
Yeah, we
big.
wanted to be in the city and we had a bunch of friends. We were ravers and we would throw parties and stuff. And we had a lot of friends in tech, like early tech,
Bing, bing,
the
bing,
dot
bing.
com boom. They were all in that. And so we were like, we can go to the city and get .com jobs and, like live large and party hard and do all this stuff. And um, so some of our friends were working for Sega and
Sick.
so we applied and we got jobs at Sega. I got hired
What?
because I'm like, they're like, what video games have you played? And I'm like, Super Mario Brothers and
Kirby?
Sonic the Hedgehog. And then they're like, which video games have you completed? And I was like, Master Blaster? And I was like, I think I finished like one and
Mario
Mario Brothers.
Brothers?
And they're like, oh well, Master Blaster is hard. Well, come to find out, they had like 100 testers and there were 3 women. So they were like gonna hire me. Um
That's crazy. You were
and
like in the beginning of it.
yeah, and it was the all of the testers were temps, so they only employed us for like 6 months. So, but we were like, okay, we'll get this 6-month job. We'll move to
This
the
is
city.
blowing my mind that I didn't even know you
Yeah,
were just a video game
yeah, yeah.
tester. It's
So,
crazy to me.
and our friends lived in this crazy warehouse in Oakland at the Vulcan Foundry, which was like there's all these warehouses and cool
Are those the ones that like
institutions over
got
there.
caught on fire?
Not in the scary fire that
Okay.
happened a few years ago, but they did catch on fire
Oh,
at some
at
point.
some point for sure.
'Cause
Because they
that was
were, yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
But anyway, so our friends were living in the Vulcan Foundry, and so they're like, "Yeah, come work at Sega, move up with us." And so, right when I was like going to move up there, they were like, "Oh, we decided to move with us to San Francisco." So we ended up getting an apartment in San Francisco, and I was low key bummed because I wanted to live in the cool Oakland
Yeah.
warehouse. Um, but anyways, we ended up getting this apartment that was on Ocean Avenue over a nail salon, and it was an old dentist office. So
That is
it had
like
all these little
the
tiny
dream.
rooms.
It's like the dream.
Yeah, it smelled like nail salon.
That is a delicious smell. Get a Joe nail, honey. I love that. Get a discount, become friendly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, so we lived above the nail
You're all
salon in
high
San
all the time.
Francisco.
Why do I have migraines
Yeah.
pounding?
And we were working at Sega. Our hours were from like 3 in the afternoon to 11 at night.
Oh my god.
And then we'd get back and it was like San Francisco is not a 24-hour city.
No.
And so we'd get off of work and there'd be, like, nothing to do.
Yeah.
You could go to a diner, but there was, like I was kinda like, "There's gonna be coffee shops all night and
Yep.
all this stuff," and no. And so then we'd go home and we'd just play video games
It's just
more.
a it was like a Richie Beach place that pretended to be a city.
Yeah.
You
Well, and it
learn
was
that
very
later.
working class. Like, back then, it was still pretty working
Okay.
class.
Yeah.
Now it's not, but it used to be more working class,
But
but it
even
just
now, it's not 24 hours. It's probably earlier than it
yeah,
was
yeah,
then.
probably everything probably closes earlier. Um, and so, anyway, so we worked there, but it was being one of, like, 3 or 4 women was,
Yeah.
like, hard,
Yeah.
and they still had back then, it was still, like, the guys had, like, posters of girls on car hoods and their
That's
cubicles and
wild.
stuff, and, um one of my friend Maya that I live with who worked there, she, like, complained, it was like she
Yeah.
complained, she was like, "That's not right, you can't do that," and so then people had to start taking down the posters, but
And then
people
they're
were, like,
mad at
big
you
mad at
guys.
us,
Like, why are you being womany?
but it was like working with, like, 80 little brothers, even though they were all older than me, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And video game it
Ugh,
was
did they smell?
I don't remember them smelling.
Oh, I feel like it sounds like they smelled.
Yeah, I don't know. It was all cubicles and stuff, but yeah, I don't remember if they smelled. And there were some really cool people there,
Yeah.
that we worked with, but
But
also,
also just a
but
cool I
I
That's
felt
crazy
like,
to say that.
yeah, I felt like a cog in the machine. Like I got being a woman, they gave us the children's games, so we would never
Oh
get.
my god,
I
you
would never
can't
get put
actually.
on cool games. I would get put on the Muppet game that was like
Wait a minute,
matching shells.
but that's also kind of cool.
Kind of, except that it was made for toddlers. So, I had to spend 8 hours a day
Oh my
for, like,
god.
2 weeks playing
Matching
matching shell games, and there's, like, there's, like, 8 shells, and you just play it, and then you tell them if it's got a bug
a
or if it's not
kink or
working
something.
or
Oh,
something,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
So, yeah, so that was, like and there was a
How
couple
much
good
did you get
things.
paid? Can you remember?
$9 an hour.
LOL. And you were
Thought
able
it
to
was, like
live
I
in
thought it
San
was
Francisco,
a lot.
but it would be like
I think so.
$21 an hour now.
Yeah, yeah. Our rent was, I think, like, $1,100 a month, and there was
That's a
4
lot
of us.
though. Oh, for 4 people?
Yeah,
Dang, that's tight.
yeah. So and we felt like,
This is
this
hard.
is a lot, it's kinda hard.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it recently, how, like, at some point, my car, like, the catalytic converter went out, and I needed to get it replaced, and it took a long time to get replaced, and your dad let me use the van.
Oh
And
my
I don't know if you
god.
remember this, but he let me but he I think it was because he didn't want your mom driving.
Oh, 100% then.
But he, like I'm always like, "I cannot believe that Nikki let me use the van." And for I don't know how long, a month, 2 months, like, we had your van, and Tim and I were, like, living in San Francisco, driving around in the van.
That's so funny. It was a maroon van. I think it was Ford,
It was a
right?
Ford Aerostar.
For Aerostar. It was like that old school. It wasn't boxy. It was like the newer one that was like it looks kind of like how like the Honda Odyssey is now,
Mhm.
but like if it was old and vintage and maroon. Bro, I can't tell you how much I hate the color maroon. And you know what's funny is someone will say something, and if I'm around Melissa, we go, "Get that out of our face. No,
Oh,
we do not want anything maroon."
uh-huh.
Because there was a time before everything where my mom would do like art shit, and she would get like big ass fans or flowers, and she was always painting everything, and she'd paint everything maroon. She had maroon clothes, a maroon van. I don't want to see maroon anywhere. Look around. I think that purse came from Nicole. That's the most maroon thing I've ever had in my life. It's cute. It's like expensive and like they get expensive things.
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, I'll use that.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna find maroon here.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
promise you. And it's because of that van and those fans.
Mhm.
The fans and the vans. Anyway, that was an expensive purchase though, wasn't it?
The van?
Wasn't it, like, fancy back then?
I don't know, it was brand new, I
It
think
was,
it
like,
might
brand
have been
new,
when I
huh?
got it, but then I just, like yeah. I think it
That's
was already
funny.
a few years old when we had it, but I drove it around for a while. Um, but that's like one of those random things. So I'm always there's certain things your dad has done that I'm like, that is so crazy that your dad let me
Thought
take
it
the
was
van.
nice.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like 19, I was like 20 years old, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, take the van to San Francisco,
Yeah.
so my wife can't drive it."
100%. He's like, "Keep that chick out the car." Facts. Also, I think my dad was always like, "You're a video game tester? Maybe you'll make it big. Let me help that." He always wanted to be part of anything that might make it big.
Yeah, yeah,
And so I think
up and
he was
coming.
like, "San Francisco,
She's going for it.
Sega, use the van.
Yeah. He's like,
Use
"We gotta
the
make sure
van.
this happens."
Yeah, we gotta make sure this works out,"
Yeah.
you know?
So Tim and I went and we were doing this job, working these crazy hours. Our weekends were like Tuesday, Wednesday, or something like that. So we had to work on the weekends. And we just like we would come home every weekend. We would come down back down to Monterey. And we were just like
You
we
mean Tuesday, Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, our
Yeah,
Tuesday, Wednesday weekend. And we after our 6 months were up, we're like, yeah, we didn't like living in the city.
yeah,
And you get to where like you're stepping over homeless people and
yeah,
ignoring them and doing and I was just like, I don't like having to be that person
yeah,
who like has to build all these walls to like live in the city
mhm.
and also there was a lot of cement and I realized how much I like to not be around cement. Um so anyways, when I came we after 6 months we moved back home and I was like, I don't want to work in a cubicle ever again. And I don't wanna work in a cubicle, and, um, I don't wanna work for a big corporation. And so I was, like, struggling trying to find, like, a job, and then I was talking to my mom about it, and she was like, "Oh, did you call Sue?" And
Let's talk
yeah.
about Sue.
And so Sue was one of my mom's old coworkers, but her and Sue had been, like, my Girl Scout leaders.
My Girl Scout leader as
Yeah.
well.
And, yeah, Sue kept being Girl Scout leader after
Okay.
my mom checked out.
Sue is the coolest person alive. She okay, okay, when I say Girl Scout, okay, other people were going to Girl Scouts, wearing their uniform, selling cookies,
Crafting.
crafting. Sue was like, "We're gonna go camping. You're you might get to take a sleeping bag. If you would like to bring some clothes, you will layer your clothes. You are not allowed to bring a bag. Um, we're gonna learn how to wash dishes in water we find with like this little jar of bleach I'm gonna bring to mix in, like, and I'm gonna show you how to use an axe." Like, she was like the real deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, she's like, "No, you guys are gonna be Boy Scouts. Whatever they're doing, we're doing. And we're gonna learn about nature. You guys are gonna put in work."
yeah,
It was just sick.
yeah, yeah. You're gonna learn how to build a fire.
Yeah.
We're not building it for you.
Yeah. She was no
We're gonna
excuses. And like, she really taught girls to be like independent and like
self-sufficient, resilient,
self-sufficient,
like
resilient, like this is what it's about. Like, oh, if everyone had a Sioux Girl Scout leader,
yeah,
it'd
yeah.
be great.
Well, and yeah, and not just like, yeah, she helped me and she kept helping us, right? So I call Sue and because my mom's like, I think she's catering.
I
And
would
so I called
Do you
Sue.
remember her as a human? Do you remember well, yeah, so you're gonna get to you remember her as, like, a grown-up person.
Yeah, yeah,
I just remember as, like, this heroic woman when
yeah,
I'm, like,
yeah.
10,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
I'm curious.
And so I called Sue and Sue was like, "Yeah, meet me at Moss Landing Marine Labs at 7:30. Wear something you can get dirty." And I was
That's
like,
like
"Awesome."
2 Sue and Moss Landing go together like peanut butter and jelly,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
And so I thought I was catering. But I show up and there's this old beater truck and like all these other like college students and they're loading up in the truck and I'm like, "What is happening?" And she was like, "Okay, let's go." And I'm like, "What am I doing? This is not I'm pretty sure this is not catering."
I don't see
And
any,
yeah,
what are they called?
appetizers.
Yeah, but what do they
Thing,
call it in Fleabag? She talks about, what are they called?
amuse
Damn,
bouche.
a moose bouche is good enough, but,
But
what the hell was she making at her little cafe?
I don't remember. I love that, but I don't
God.
remember. Um,
I'll remember it in, like,
yeah.
20 minutes, don't worry.
We anyways, we were going and we were repairing greenhouses that were at school. It was the summertime. We were repairing greenhouses at schools, and I got like 6 blisters
Nice.
on my hands, and at the end of the day, I was like, "That was awesome."
Yeah.
We used tools, I was outside all day, it was hard work. I felt like
Yeah.
whenever I do that kinda stuff or use tools, it reminds me of
Mhm.
grandpa. So, like
I just told the kids that Zoe was outside yesterday. She goes, "It smells like sawdust," and I was like, "You're welcome," because sawdust reminds me of grandpa
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much. Just
and
that
so
smell, I love it.
I thought, like I was like, "Oh, this is my grandfather this is my grandfather's DNA expressing itself in me,
Yeah.
like, this is good stuff, I
Yeah.
like this." So
And
anyways
soil, hands in soil
Mhm.
releases endorphins. That's
Oh,
what they
really?
say.
Yeah,
At
I
least
believe
it
it.
it, releases the happiness
Yeah,
endorphin.
yeah,
Happiness chemical, which is endorphin.
yeah,
So, yeah, you were probably like, "Hell yeah."
yeah. It was totally good, and then we were, like, that week we were, like, fixing irrigation on trees that had been
Cool.
planted and doing all this stuff, and, I loved it, and so that was how it was basically habitat restoration. She had a group called Creative Environmental Conservation, so I started working with her, and I was going to school part-time and doing,
So that was an
doing
actual
this work.
job.
Yeah.
How did you were you guys funded by Monterey or
It was nonprofit, so they would get grants to work
nice.
on the different
Okay.
projects. And so I was doing that, and then there was a greenhouse that was they had at CSUMB, and so I would go help with the greenhouse sometimes. But then they had a program working with developmentally disabled adults
I
who were
think I
coming
remember
to the
that too.
greenhouse, and the guy who um, was working with them, I think he got sick and he wasn't able to continue, and so they wanted somebody to be able to, like, work with the groups, and so I was like, "Oh, I could do that," and I was like, "I have cousins who are developmentally disabled,
Yep.
like, totally a group of people I'm very comfortable with,
Yeah.
don't have an issue."
We lived with our
Yeah,
cousin our entire life.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then, so, like, I was very comfortable, with that population, and yeah, so I started working at the greenhouse just when these groups would come, and I would we would weed plants, we would plant seeds, we would transplant. And so through that I learned about the greenhouse and what was happening at the greenhouse,
Who
what
was
they
your,
were
like,
growing.
mentor at that time? Sue or other people?
Probably Sue. At the greenhouse, it was like other students a
Like,
lot of
you
time. They
all
were
learned
like
like,
other
everyone had knowledge
Yeah,
and
they
were
were
just
other
like
college students, so
yeah,
they kinda, knew some stuff too, and so I was, a little bit learning from them, but I don't feel like as far as the plants were concerned, I didn't have any, one person that was, really taught I
right.
feel like I had to kind of get
Community learning.
knowledge, yeah,
Mhm.
from everywhere. And, so then, I did that for a while, and then the people who were managing the greenhouse, they were actually students, CCME students at the time, and they were graduating. There's
And
2
the
of them.
greenhouse is CSUMB, right?
Yeah, yeah,
At the now or at that time?
yeah, I was at that time, it
Okay.
was CSUMB. They opened this greenhouse they built the greenhouse there before the college opened,
So you're in at
but
this time, you're employed by CSUMB?
no, I
No.
wasn't employed yet by CSUMB. I think when they finally, when I applied to be the greenhouse manager because they needed one, and I had been there, that I knew what was going on because
Right.
I had been there more than anybody else after the greenhouse managers. Um, so I got hired, and then I became a CSUMB employee, and that was around 2000.
Okay.
So at that or 2001. So at that point, I had been working for the organization for
Right.
5 years, and so we were doing restoration, but we do a lot of environmental education programs. So all those greenhouses at schools, we used to grow native plants at schools, and so we'd plant seeds with kids, and then they'd grow them in their greenhouses.
So cool that, like,
And then
all schools, like, almost they're like, they do that now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like,
and then
Zoe's that was, like, the best time of her life.
uh
She was just like, "That was my gardening lady," and
yeah,
she just,
yeah.
like, loved it.
And so we would bring all those plants out to our restoration sites, and
Is it Return of the Natives at this?
yeah, it was
Okay.
returning the natives at that point. Um,
And then if I read right, It started in 1994,
Mhm.
and it was a mix of scientists from CSUMB and then you guys.
Well, it was actually it's, scientists from Moss Landing Marine
Oh,
Labs,
Moss
and
Landing
so
Marine
what
Lab.
happened was the, there's teachers, and this was, like, a little bit before me, but I came in, like, a year or something after the organization started, 2 years maybe, but there were teachers in Salinas who they're building all these new schools in Salinas, and they look like prisons, and that was the model, where there was a big square of classrooms
Yep.
and a yard in the middle and was a lot of cement,
Mhm.
and the teachers were like, "This sucks, for kids. We need to make this not look like a prison. We
Yes.
want a garden." And so there's teachers who got together, wanted a garden, and I think some of those teachers were friends with scientists at Moss Landing Marine Labs, and the Moss Landing Marine Labs people were at that point, they were like, some of the benthic ecologists, so they're studying, like, invertebrates in the ocean and creeks and
Shit.
streams. Yeah, and they were like, everything's polluted. This is a problem. But the only way we fix this is to fix what's going on upstream. And upstream, we have a lot of agriculture, a lot of pesticides, all this litter, all these different issues. And so they were like, they the Moss Landing scientists started this group called the Watershed Institute,
Right.
and they're like, we have to make our watersheds in the area more healthy so that the ocean, the bay, can be more healthy.
And how
And
lucky I feel like all of this is because the Monterey Bay is like a sanctuary,
yeah,
right?
and so this is
And
all
and
as the
so
bay
people are
is
like,
getting declared a
"We
sanctuary.
will get grants for this
Yeah,
because it's like a sanctuary and the aquarium, just like everything."
yeah, all of that was happening.
Yeah. At the
The
same time,
aquarium had already happened, but then
but
the
all same
sanctuary
time, like,
thing, and then
protecting it.
and so, CSUMB had just, I think Clinton had just said, like, "Oh, we're changing this military base to a university." And,
Fort Ord was wild,
yeah,
y'all. Bombs would just go off. It was
yeah, we
crazy
grew up
growing
with
up.
bombs going
It'd be like, "Boo,
all
boo."
along
You
the
would all day
sides.
long, you would just hear bombs. That's crazy.
Yeah,
And now they're just going to college, they're getting coffees.
yeah.
It's crazy.
So the Watershed Institute folks, they were like, "Okay, we're marine biologists, Moss Landing Marine Labs, but they're opening a new university. We're starting this Watershed Institute. It should be at CSUMB." So a couple of the scientists from Moss Landing, like, they just started showing up at the military base. So it was being decommissioned. And in the beginning, they still had a guard at there, and they like, somehow they bullshitted their way onto the base. And they found an abandoned building, an empty building, and a field.
Sick.
This is the lore that I've been handed
Yeah,
down,
yeah, yeah.
and they were just like, "This will be the Watershed Institute," and they just
Sick.
started. And one of the guys, I think John Oliver, was like, "Yeah, we just started showing up every day." And then he was like, after a week or two, they just started waving me in, like I didn't even have to say anything. And so they literally squatted in a building on the base that was being decommissioned, and there was a big field. It's like the old parade ground behind it, and they built the greenhouse out on the field.
Sick.
And then as they were starting the new university, they were kind of like, "Oh yeah, we're here. So we're part of your science department." And so, like, the first science classes when they opened the university, the first science classes were held in the Watershed
I'm
Institute building.
dead. When did they become, like, official?
They became, well, I think once by the time the university started, they're like, "Oh yeah, the Watershed Institute." So anyway, so these teachers, I think, were friends with some of the Moss Landing
Right.
people, and so they paired up with Watershed Institute because they're like, "Oh yeah, well, we want to do all this cool
Yeah.
restoration, but also we want to involve the community,
Right.
and so let's get the teachers, and we'll have the kids
Yeah.
grow plants, and we'll get teachers learning about native plants." And so
Yeah.
they basically had a symbiotic relationship, and the Return of the Natives became like a project of the Watershed Institute,
Cool.
and so that was.
We did that with Girl Scouts. We went one time and did that, and
Mhm.
we restored plants and did all that with
Yeah.
Sue.
Yeah, we would
Yep.
go. I was in, like, there's a picture of me in the Monterey Herald when I was like 11
Oh,
planting an oak tree at Elkhorn Slough.
oh, yeah. She would
'Cause
just
she
take
would
us
take
out there,
us.
and it would be all foggy and shit,
Mhm.
and we would just be out there just planting.
Mhm.
plant.
Or when we would go to the mud, did you ever do the thing in the mud where we'd get all covered in mud, but it was for snowy plovers? But
Oh, no.
there's, like, the
Maybe.
big mud flats, and the snowy plovers
I remember
apparently
going,
like
but I don't remember if
yeah,
we
they like to lay their eggs in, like, little divots in the mud, and so they would have a mud stomp every year, and
oh,
we
so cool.
she would take us out there,
Maybe we did
and
do
we
that.
would go and, like, stomp in the mud, and it was just so like, then they would leave it, and it would dry up, and it would have little divots so that
Maybe we did because one time we had to change and we gotta go to Sue's house
yeah,
to, like,
so she
change and stuff, and I was like, "This
cool
is"
house.
it was cool.
Mhm.
Oh god, she was so cool.
Super cool. She had no salt.
And I was like I went to Girl Scouts, I was like, "Well, I went to Sue's house, so have you done that? No? Okay, thank you. Sorry."
Yeah, I'm in her house.
I've been to her house.
Yeah.
It was like 3 minutes, and she was like, "Bathroom and out."
Yeah, yeah.
But we were with Rosie, I think that's and then I think that's actually we Rosie, like, made us go do it or something,
Mhm.
and then that's when she was like, "Now be in the Girl
Yeah,
Scouts,"
yeah.
and it was so cool. But, so now Return of the Natives, now it's called
Habitat Stewardship Project.
okay.
And, we, like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago, like, all of a sudden people are like, "So you're an indigenous rights group? Or are you" and people started assuming we were somehow related to indigenous rights, and we're like, "Oh, no, it's like native plants, like indigenous plants."
I know.
But then you're explaining it, and it didn't feel right
Yeah,
to, like I was like, "I don't" but and also there's, like, just all of a sudden there were more
because it sounds like
groups,
you're
there was
rejecting it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you're like, "Well, obviously they're indigenous and native, of
yeah,
course," but you're like, "But that's not what we're not representing that, but I we're not mad that it sounds like that." So it
yeah, yeah,
became like that, like
yeah, and we're, like, totally respect, indigenous rights groups and think it's awesome that there was more attention being given, to indigenous issues and everything, and so then it felt like we were, like, taking space
yeah,
from that, and so we didn't want to, do that, and so we were like, "I think we need to change the
yeah,
name." So yeah. So it took a while to figure out what we wanted our name to be. It's not easy to change a name. Return of the Natives or Ron. People loved it. Like
yeah,
a lot of people were like couldn't understand why we changed it.
right.
Um, but I was
But now
like,
you know.
yeah. But I think it was a good move,
Yeah, it's fair.
and I think also it's Habitat Stewardship Project. It's a little more clear.
Yeah,
I think.
and in 10 years, that will be the name,
Yeah,
and
people will remember.
HSP.
Yeah.
Darn, it just doesn't sound as cool as Ron,
Yeah, we'll
but
just be like, "Ron, we're Ron."
Hisp,
Yeah,
hisp.
hasp. Hasp. Yeah, so we became Habitat Stewardship Project.
So basically, you manage a greenhouse that restores all no, not all, but restores native plants to the Monterey Peninsula, and it is, um, done by community,
Mhm,
students,
mhm,
scientists,
mhm.
and you.
Yeah,
Yep.
and well, yeah, a lot of CSUMB students and, pretty much everybody,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think, our thing is we believe that, like, if you want people to be environmental stewards, they have to appreciate the environment.
Yeah,
So we're really about like getting kids and the community out in nature. And then by actually doing service for picking up trash or planting plants, like you get to have a good time in nature, but also then you have this connection of
yeah,
like,
and
I,
respect.
I I did a good thing. I learned a little bit, like, and it's so I feel like we're making deeper connections with nature for people and learning about like um, getting a sense of place, like learning about your local area. Like
Right.
we grew up in Seaside, and the first time I went out to the Fort Ord National Monument, like in the backcountry, I was blown away because I was like, "This is Seaside."
I know.
And all I knew Seaside was the streets.
Yes.
And so then I was like, oh, Seaside is also this. Like,
Yeah.
and then I started to like learn plants and what they were. And I tell people sometimes it's like, well, it's funny because I have this thing that I tell people, but then some people can't, the young people can't relate. But I'm like, it's like black and white TV. And then they're like, what's black and white TV? But I was like, I feel like I was living in a black and white world.
Yeah.
And then I started to learn plants. And then I was like, oh, all of a sudden I live in a technicolor world
Yeah.
because there was all these things that were around me all the time
Yeah.
that I never saw. And then as I started to learn them, I was like, oh, crazy. Like the fabric of your whole world
Well,
changed.
and then it brings in
The
animals
depth. Yeah.
and birds and,
Uh-huh.
like and,
Bugs and
insects and,
yeah.
like and it's just, like, the plant is just, like, one part of it, but it
Yeah.
brings in all this other
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
All the stuff. And
Oh,
we
and then sea life,
yeah.
yeah, like
And the ocean and yeah, when you're then it's like the watershed and the water runs through the creeks and
and
streams
then
and through the
freshwater
ocean
and
and
saltwater, and
yeah.
it's just a full-on path to, like,
And
learn.
seeing how it's all like everything is connected. We're all
Yeah.
connected. And um but
How
anyways,
lucky that's your job.
yeah. It yeah, and I just thanks to Sue, I just happened upon
Yeah.
it because I was a theater kid. I was not going
No.
to I was not I was like, "Oh, I can't do science."
Yeah,
And now I fully am like a science person.
yeah.
And we do a lot of environmental education. And I think one of the things because I've gotten there in a non-traditional way. I still don't have the degrees. I never, I kind of, like I said, I wasn't good at sitting in a classroom.
I'm not a
I'm a,
big fan of degrees.
I'm a
I mean, if you
tactile.
need it, it's
Yeah.
fine. If it's your thing, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But, like, I just feel like the world is like, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's also, it's people learn
You did
differently.
get a degree.
I'm a
You got a
Yeah,
degree.
I'm a tactile learner. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't do good in a room with the fluorescent lighting and stuff like that. I can't function
But,
in
like,
that
you got
environment.
a
But
degree from a ton of people over a
yeah,
long amount of time,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know? It's just it's the same thing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
did your classes all your classes, oh, sorry, in a
So,
different way.
well, and I think the cool thing about me, maybe, is that I can explain to kids sometimes
Mhm.
how, what the deal is with this environmental
Right.
process or function because
Yeah.
I can hear sometimes we'll have a scientist or somebody tell them something and I'm like, you just said blah, 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 blah,"
Yeah.
to those kids. Like
Yeah.
they don't understand anything
Yeah.
like that, and
Yeah.
so I
Your
can be like,
superpower is that.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, what they're saying
Mhm.
is this. Like,
It's like this,
yeah,
you
I
know?
can
I
give a
think that's
metaphor.
such
I
a
can
big
relate
thing.
it
Mhm.
to them. And so that's like that's really cool to
Yeah.
be able to do that.
So you guys do projects all the time.
Yeah, well, we have to stay alive. And so we're under the university, but we're on the nonprofit side of the university and we are completely like grant funded. So we have to apply for grants or donations. So people donate money to us.
Donate money.
So they donate money to Habitat Stewardship Project.org. Donate.
Do it now.
But so we get lots of grants so we basically work with like Fort Ord National Monument and we'll get like they have grant money that you can get to like do restoration on the monument. So we work with them on that. The Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District, they actually have like their own funds from taxes and stuff. And so we get they have so many different parks and they need restoration at the park. So they grant us money to do work at like Marina Dunes Preserve. We work with like the Big Sur Land Trust at Ensign Park, Ensign Community Park in Salinas, which is super cool, new park. And it's got,
And I'm gonna put the link up and you can like follow them and anyone can go and help, which is
yeah,
cool.
yeah. And
I
so,
think it's cool to like take kids there. If
mhm,
you want to go, you want to
yeah.
meet people, like literally anybody. Like
Yeah, yeah. And if you have high school students that need community service hours, you can get your community service hours. If you got a parking ticket and need community service hours, you can
that's
get
a good
community
way to do
service
it instead
hours.
of
Yeah,
just picking up trash where everyone can see you.
yeah. So, so anyway, so yeah, we're like working the creeks of Salinas, the park district, the dunes. We basically any and every local agency, your park, if there's like a need, and sometimes they reach out to us because they like. California state parks, maybe they can do restoration. They can plant plants or grow the plants, but they're like, "Oh, you guys know everybody at the schools, so, like, you can get kids out and you
Right.
can bring the
More
community out."
hands
And
and
so,
people, yeah.
yeah, we're good at engaging the community in all this work, so
And then it gives their parks, like, more attention
mhm.
too, and just
Yeah,
that's sick.
yeah.
I can't believe you're a video game tester.
Yeah, and that was like when people were like, "Oh, what did you do before this?" I'm like, "Oh, I tested video games." That was like my last I mean, I worked in a restaurant
Yeah,
at some
but, like,
point
that
as
was, like,
part-time,
your yeah.
but that was like the, like, full-time job I had before doing this was a video game
That's
tester.
so funny.
Yeah,
Well, we went a long time, and
I
I know
know.
you I
Talking
no, I love it, but I know she has a football game to go to,
oh,
some soccer, so,
I gotta
um
watch. Gotta there's a
oh, yeah, yeah,
cup game.
I
Like,
know. It's a
somehow,
lot right now.
also, I became a soccer mom.
I know, that's
I went
funny.
from theater kid to soccer mom, and
But,
it's
like, actual soccer, so
yeah.
it's kinda cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it is the beautiful game. So I'm
So much
full on
soccer right now, it's
cult.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Do you know how to end this?
Do I know like with a song or like what is there a
I
special
can't
dance?
believe this. I this happens every single time. I cannot for the life of me just tell people how to do this
Yeah.
before. Okay, I say, let the people know. Okay, let the people know.
I'm Christina and I'm a special nobody.
I'm gonna get it right one day, I promise.